Hey there! Welcome to Bible Adventures for Kids. Join me as we hear a wonderful story about Jesus when he was only a boy. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, his parents, Mary and Joseph, loved and cared for him very much. They raised Jesus to follow God. They taught him what was right and helped him learn about the world around him. When Jesus grew up, he became strong, kind, and full of wisdom. Everyone could tell that God's favor was upon him. Every year, Mary and Joseph traveled to Jerusalem for a special time called the Passover Festival. During this festival, they remembered how God saved his people from slavery in Egypt many years ago. It was a happy time filled with yummy food, singing, and celebrating God's goodness, and Jesus loved going with them. On the way to Jerusalem, the family traveled with other people from their town. They walked along, talking and laughing, sharing stories, and singing songs about God. It was an adventure for Jesus, too. He loved listening to the rabbis, which were the teachers of the law. They taught the people about God and his rules. And Jesus loved asking them questions about God. When the festival started, everyone would go to the temple. There they would listen to God's word and pray. Jesus listened to the teachers, and when he heard something he didn't understand, he asked his parents or the rabbis to explain it to him. Everyone was amazed by how much Jesus knew. And the rabbis were especially impressed by how smart and curious he was. Even some grown-ups stopped and talked to Jesus because he asked such good questions. After the Passover festival, it was time to go home. So everyone started the long walk back to Nazareth. Mary and Joseph walked with other people from their town. They traveled for a whole day and stopped for the night. They assumed that Jesus was walking with other kids from Nazareth. But when they stopped for the night, they couldn't find him anywhere. Mary's heart pounded like a drum. She couldn't believe it. Where could Jesus be? Joseph started looking in every corner. He asked everyone around, "Have you seen a boy named Jesus? He's about this tall, has brown hair, and is wearing a blue robe." Some people said, "We saw him playing near the river. Let's go look there." But Jesus wasn't there. Joseph and Mary were worried sick. "Where is Jesus?" they cried out. Then they looked around. They saw a big crowd of people, all talking loudly. Maybe, just maybe, Jesus was with the crowd. Joseph asked them, "Have you seen a young boy? Has anyone seen Jesus?" But the people had no idea what he was talking about. Mary and Joseph felt tears running down their cheeks. What should they do now? They couldn't find Jesus anywhere. Then Joseph said, "Let's head back to Jerusalem. We need to look around there, too." So they said goodbye to everyone and started walking back to Jerusalem. They walked and walked, but they still couldn't find Jesus. Now, Mary and Joseph were very scared. 3 whole days went by and they still couldn't find their son. Every time they saw a group of people, they ran to them and asked if they had seen Jesus, but no one had. They kept looking everywhere, in the crowded streets, the marketplaces, and among their friends, but Jesus was nowhere to be found. Finally, on the 3rd day, they went back to the temple. When they entered the temple courts, they saw something amazing. Jesus was sitting among the teachers, listening and asking questions. And everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and answers. Everyone was so busy talking and discussing the things Jesus had said that no one had noticed Mary and Joseph searching for him. Then Mary ran to Jesus and said, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been so worried, searching for you." Luke 2:48. When Mary said this, all the people around gasped. No one had realized that Jesus was Mary's son. They looked at him in surprise. Then Jesus looked at her with calm eyes and said, "Why were you searching for me? Didn't you know I had to be in my Father's house?" Luke 2:49. Mary and Joseph didn't quite understand what he meant, but they knew that Jesus was a special child. Then Joseph and Mary took Jesus home. Jesus was now 12 years old. From that day on, Jesus helped his parents and obeyed them. He was a good and helpful son. Jesus continued to grow in wisdom and kindness, and everybody respected him. God's favor was always upon him. Now, as Jesus grew older, he started going around with his parents to different cities and villages. He listened to the rabbis and learned a lot about God and his laws. Many people knew Jesus when he was just a little boy. They were amazed at how much he knew and how wise he was. But most importantly, Jesus was kind and friendly to everyone. He helped those in need and showed them that God loved them. When Jesus was 30 years old, he started his public ministry. He told people about God's love and forgiveness and performed miracles to show God's power. Many people followed him and became his disciples. They learned from him and spread the message of God's love to everyone. So the next time you hear this story, remember that Jesus was not only a powerful teacher, but also a kind and loving child who grew up with a strong faith in God. For kids today, this story teaches us that we should love learning about God and His Word. Just like Jesus, we can ask questions and seek wisdom from those who know more than us. It also reminds us that we should always put God first, just like Jesus did. Even when he was just a boy, he knew that he belonged to God and had to be in his Father's house. All right, our Bible adventure comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed hearing this wonderful story about Jesus. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of our exciting stories. Until next time, may God bless you and keep you in His love. Thank you for watching.